If you're seeing, I forgot how to do the intro. Oh well, I guess it's time we retire that bit for now. How's it going, everybody? I guess we're kind of just jumping into the episode here. I'm tired today, guys. I didn't sleep too well last night. I was in and out of sleep all night. Do you guys ever have those nights? Oh, by the way, the show is called My Tiny Little House. It's a bit of a mess of an intro here, because I forgot what do I always say? I didn't even intentionally mean to start doing that. I just sort of started doing it. What was it? It was like, if you're seeing this message, or no, not message. If you're seeing this video, it means blah, 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 something about the beginning of the episode. And then I would move on and just start yapping about random shit. You know what? If you're seeing this now, it means I'm just going to start yapping about random shit. And I already swore, oh my gosh. Whole episode's got to get thrown in the garbage. It's the disaster episode 2. It really is the disaster episode 2 already, guys. We've already hit the wall, everybody. We've already hit the wall. Damn it. Only episode, what are we on? Episode 4? No, 5. Episode 5. Wow. Look at that. I didn't think I'd get this far. It looks like it's about to rain. I've also learned that one of the most boring things you can talk about on a podcast is the weather. I only learned that because of podcasts that I listen to, and I'm like, why are they talking about, like, is that how mundane it is? And to be fair, my life right now is actually pretty mundane. I'm not doing much of, like, I need to, like, do something new, but, like, there's, like, nothing to do where I live. The only things that are fun where I live is just, like, drinking and playing video games. Everything else costs too much money to go out and do stuff. Why can't things be free and fun? Why can't fun things be free? Why can't good things be free? You know? Why can't good things be free? Oh boy. Well, I guess, oh yeah, name of the show. This is My Tiny Little House, episode 5 of the show. We've been going strong for 5 weeks, and hopefully we keep going stronger for another 5 more weeks, so that we have to break the record of 11 episodes that have released of this show. At the very least, to break the record of the other podcast that shall not be named that I scrapped years ago. No, well, I scrapped it. When did I technically scrap it? You guys have heard me yap about it enough. Yeah, we're on the bedroom floor today. For all you audio listeners, we are on the bedroom floor once again today. I was going to record from the bed, but the puppy's taken over the bed, and I know if I bring the equipment onto the bed, she's going to, like, something's going to be like, oh, I have to go run to the door now because I heard a noise outside, so I have to go inspect what that is, and then she takes out all my equipment with her. She did that last week, actually, on episode 4. She jumped onto my laptop. That was really nice. Yeah, episode 4 I can't say it didn't turn out how I wanted it to. It just was one of those things where, like, it really just was like the disaster episode. Like, I tried to make it work, and it just didn't work. It was just oh boy. Oh geez. I want to do more episodes where, like, I go places and I just, like, look around. Because it's like, I can sit in my room and yap, sure, but, like, you know, it's not that interesting. It's like, we need I think a change of scenery would be really nice. And I was trying to get that last week, and it didn't work out. By the way, if you're wondering how this show is recorded, usually what I do is I do one episode. Like, I'll record an episode, right? It'll come out a week later, and as that episode is premiering on YouTube or wherever it is, I'm recording the next episode for the next week, so on and so forth. That's how I do this show, actually. I keep on a pretty consistent weekly basis. That's at least what I'm trying my best to do here, is get good about keeping in the swing of things, man. Keeping the groove, keeping the record in the groove. Ooh, I like that. Keeping the record in the groove. Is that like a thing that people say? If not, I'm coining the term now. But yeah, hopefully next episode we don't get, or next car episode that we do where I record from my car, we don't get like some bus driver coming up to me and being like, you gotta move. And like, I'm like, no, I'm recording a podcast here. I wonder what she thought, actually. I want to reflect on that real quick. I want to know what she thought I was doing there. I mean, like, she was just like a bus driver, and like, she was probably just, she said she was going on her break. I want to know what she saw when she saw me in the backseat of a car, dressed the way I was with that Picasso jacket. I think I said it was a Van Gogh jacket. It's not a Van Gogh jacket. It was a Picasso jacket. Sorry. I don't know why in my head I confused the two artists with one another back when I made that episode last week. But yeah, no, It's a Picasso jacket. I wonder what she thought when she saw me. And by the way, the back seat of my car is just a total. It's a dumpster. It's like a glorified dumpster right now. I have to really. It's been worse before though. I'm not gonna lie. There was one point in my life, far before I ever became like a content person, whatever you want to call it, online creator, content personality. That's a new one, I guess. Or was it no? Like it's internet personality. That's what I'm thinking of. Internet personality. Far before I was that. There was at one point in my life where I just like let actual garbage just like pile up in the backseat of my car. And it was to the point where it's probably like reaching like, it's probably like pretty close to like the window, like the bottom of the window, like where the window meets or where the door meets the window in the back seat. It was actually like pretty close to there at one point. It was a interesting point in my life. I was also the most busy I'd ever been in my entire life at that point. As in I was like not living out of my car. I've never lived out of my car, but like spending a lot of time in my car, commuting to and from school and work and all those other, what the hell was that? Dude, I've been hearing like weird little noises in my, like, I don't know if that's just me. Maybe it's like I'm going insane. Maybe there's a gas leak or something. But like I've been hearing just little noises in the walls. Well, I know we have mice. In fact, I heard a mouse squeaking right up there. Right before I started recording, and then I heard him go like a real fast scurry across the ceiling. It was really crazy. But yeah, speaking of my car, I think I mentioned on the episode last week that I was like, oh yeah, right before I started recording, my tire pressure light came on, and I'm not gonna lie, very embarrassingly enough, I didn't bother to fill my car's tires up with air until literally today, literally a week later. Like before I went to the gym, I was like, oh yeah, I have like a battery powered, one of those like battery powered pumps. I think you got it off like, I don't know where, I forgot who got it for me. I got it as like a Christmas gift and somebody got it for me. And, I was just like, oh yeah, let me go let's just do this now. Get this over with. And I didn't know the thing would read your tire pressure. Also, like it tells you what your current tire pressure is. And then also like you put in the PSI of what you need to set it to, right? And then you press go and it starts going. It's really loud actually. And I am embarrassed to admit what my PSI was. I'm embarrassed to admit that I let my tire pressure get that low. It was 26 PSI and normally it should be 33. I know, don't grill me, okay? It took it that long. Okay, or it took my car that long to detect that the tire pressure was that low. Okay, for the longest time it was fine. Maybe I need to be better about maintaining my car. I actually do, and I'll admit, I've been better about maintaining my car, keeping things like I had a headlight out for like I think like 6 months. I had a headlight out, and like a few weeks ago I finally got around to replacing it because I was like, you know what, I'll just get this done with. Why not? And I was going to go to like a mechanic, but then I'm like, that's so embarrassing. 'Cause it's such a simple thing. I know it's a simple thing to do. So I'm like, you know what? Things are going to freaking change around here. Things are going to freaking change around here for once. I'm going to attempt to change my own headlight. It was really difficult, but so far I've changed my headlights. I've filled my tires up with air. The next thing that I want to do is I want to change my own oil. That's the next thing that I'm going to do. You want to know why? It makes me feel like more of a man whenever I do something to my car. That's a man thing to do. It's like, oh yeah, I put tire pressure or put air in my tires. So freaking manly. I changed my oil. Awesome. So manly. It makes me feel more blue collar, like a man, like I'm a man, And that's something, that's actually kind of funny because it's something that I've noticed. I mean this with no hate in my heart. I've met some women in my life that don't do anything to their cars. I know somebody who didn't like change her oil for almost like 2 years. And like, I'm like, how do you even get away with that? And there was a bunch of lights up on the dashboard and everything. And I'm just like, how do you let it get to that point? But here's the thing. I feel like every man that I know has just a tragic backstory with their first car, their first few cars that just gone through like a bunch of cars, right? You know what I mean? and it's all because of like simple shit, like maintenance shit that they forgot to do and whatnot. But then I meet so many women that are just like, they've never even touched their car, they've never even like done anything to it, never even put air in their tires maybe, and their cars are running perfectly fine. Probably not safe, but their cars are running perfectly fine. And I got to admit that that's pretty impressive. That's pretty good. I feel like every time I talk to a guy about cars, it's always like his first story about his first car is that I don't know, it cracked the oil pan and it seized the engine, or it was burning something, or like the timing belt blew. That happened to my car actually, and we still got it fixed. I feel like it's always like that kind of story. It's like, I think the trade-off for like, you know how back in the day, they used to say you had to like break a horse to get it. Is it break in or break a horse? It's like back in the day, the trade-off between horses and cars was that like you had to break a horse, but now the car breaks you. That's how that works. But it's only if you're a man. If you're a woman, you're spared from this. And honestly, that's kind of a good thing. I'm jealous of you. I think that's a good thing. You don't have to get broken by your car. I've told the story 1,000 times about how my car's broken me many times. It's broken down, but it's broken me emotionally inside. Mentally and emotionally, my car's broken me on the inside many, many times, including it getting struck by lightning when I was 19 years old, and I didn't have a car for a month, and I was super depressed because I couldn't go anywhere. Because like when you're 19 and you're out of high school, you've been out of high school for at least like a year or two, right? You want to you want to go out and experience things, you know? Maybe as you get a little older, you're like, I can chill at home for a little while. That sounds pretty cool. But like, I was so excited when I was 19, and then that happened. My car broke me. I was the horse, and my car was the cowboy, and I got broken, emotionally broken. And then what else? I mean, the timing belt blew like 2 years. That was like 2 years ago. The timing belt blew. And that was like right when that's funny. That's right when I started making money off of streaming was when that happened. And then any money that I made from like my first, I think, month and a half to 2 months off of streaming just had to go immediately into fixing my car. So that was fun. Thank you guys for your support. Oh, speaking of that, actually, I want to say that, we did a subathon on Sunday night. It was a really good subathon. It's basically just a subathon where I played GTA 5. That's what happened. Was that if you subbed, I kept playing GTA 5 until the timer ran out. And we made a lot of progress in the story. So that's what I'm up to over there on Twitch. If you're watching this a month or two out from when this came out, or like years, yeah, I'm probably not playing Grand Theft Auto 5 anymore on my Twitch. So this is very time sensitive information, but I digress. Or maybe I am. Who knows? Maybe things come full circle, you know? Would that be full circle? I don't really know. I feel like people just kind of say that thing and it just means whatever you want it to mean in that moment. What is this thing for? Oh, this is for my remote for my camera. Let's zoom in on me. I could pretend that I have like a cameraman, you know? I'd be like, what should the name of our fictional cameraman be? James, zoom in on my face real quick. James, you gotta position it a different. Okay, James, you're fired, man. You know, actually, maybe it looks better. Does it look better like this? You know, maybe I should probably done this before the show. You know what? This looks good, actually. It's a little more on me. I like this. Okay. But yeah, I'm jealous. I wish my car had just a million lights up on the dash and it still could run. That just doesn't happen with my car. The minute like more than two lights come up on it, it's like, okay, time to go to the mechanic or having to get it towed. That's the worst thing ever. I feel like that's the most embarrassing thing for me is getting my car towed. I've had to get it towed about 2 or 3 times now, I think. 2 or 3. No, we almost had to get it twice. I've gotten it towed. And then the third time we almost had to get it towed. Luckily, it was an easy fix that somebody was able to fix in our driveway. That was such a relief. What else can I talk about? If it doesn't seem like blatantly apparent, yes, I'm very tired today. I'm like, I didn't sleep well last night. I go through these bouts of insomnia about like once a month where for like a day or two, like 2 nights pretty much, I get either the worst quality sleep, like I'm in and out of sleep, or like I just can't fall asleep. Like that's what happened last night. It was like I just couldn't fall asleep. I felt really weird, and like it was just like it was one of those things where like my body was asleep but my brain wasn't. Like, I was still conscious for most of it, which is really weird to say out loud, but like, does anybody else get that? Like, tell me down below. Do you get this if you experience insomnia where it's like nights where like your brain is like awake the entire night, but your body is just like like limp and everything, and you're like a corpse, you're like a zombie that hasn't gotten up yet, you know what I mean? It's like things are starting to snap off in the brain here, you know what I mean? Or they're still going in the brain, but like you just cannot fall asleep. That was me last night. I think eventually I nodded off, and by nodded off I mean I literally had to like pass out. I had to like tire myself out to just like eventually just and I fell asleep with my head backwards, and it looked probably super embarrassing, but like, nobody was watching. It was just like, I woke up in my, somebody's going to, don't clip that, please. But that's how I fell asleep last night. Like I literally, like I couldn't just naturally fall asleep. I had to like just force myself into like eventually just passing out, which is not healthy. Like it's really unhealthy. And, yeah, this happens about like once a month. I just get a really bad bout of insomnia, and I've been trying to like figure it out a little bit. I've been trying to take different things for it, like sleeping pills, melatonin. I took Benadryl last night for the first time, I think since I was like a kid. Are you supposed to take Benadryl when you're a kid? I don't know. And that was, I think, what made me eventually fall asleep was the Benadryl, because that makes you really drowsy. It's almost like being drunk, but without the alcohol. And all the fun parts of being drunk is just ripped away from you with Benadryl. It's like getting drunk, but all the fun is taken away. It's like getting drunk, but your brain stays intelligent. That's the part that kind of sucks. Maybe I should have just gotten drunk. It probably would have worked better. That's not true. That's bad advice. Don't listen to that. That's, or maybe it's great advice. Maybe that really works for you. I don't know. Tell me in the comments section down below. Did that work for you? But it's like, I also just hate talking about, I know I just did exactly the thing that I'm about to say, like that I hate doing. Like, I hate talking about my symptoms to people, or worst of all is looking them up online, because you just find out that you're dying, basically. That's what that is. It's like a one-way ticket to somebody being like, actually, you have like 2 days left to live. It's like, oh yeah, my leg kind of twitches in my sleep sometimes. And they're like, you need to get checked out right now. You're dying. And it's like, okay, if that were the case, I think I would have died by now. Also, how do you know? Everybody's a medical expert online. That's like the worst thing ever. Everybody thinks they're a medical expert online. And it's just like, half the time it's just like, oh yeah, you just got to change your diet, or like, change your routine up or something like that. And it's never that big of a deal, unless it is. Then that's a problem. If you're like shitting and vomiting blood, probably go see a doctor. That's probably about the time when it's like, okay, yeah, you might be looking at the end there, or hopefully not. Maybe there's a totally natural reason you could be shitting and vomiting blood. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Like I said, I'm not one of these Redditors or WebMD people that thinks they know everything about everything. You know what I mean? And then there's going to be somebody on Reddit who sees this podcast and he's going to be like, this podcaster is spreading really harmful information. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay? Cancel me, baby. Get rid of me. Throw me to the wolves. Throw me to the internet wolves, and I'll make them all. What does it say? What's that thing? It's like throw me to the wolves, and I'll come back pregnant. That's me, baby. That's a really fucked up meme. I can't believe I even just quoted that. That was disgusting. Yeah, or like the worst thing is I start talking about my symptoms to like people in real life, and they're like, I think one time I told somebody that I was getting like night sweats. Like I was sweating a lot in my sleep, and I would like wake up and like my forehead would be really sweaty. My body would be really sweaty, and like it would just like my clothes would be sticking to my skin. It's nasty. You got to peel it off in the morning. It's like taking off an extra layer of skin. And somebody who I know, and I'm going to call them out. I'm not going to call them out by name, but you know who you are if you're watching this, was like, you need to get checked out right now. That's one of the biggest signs. And this was true actually too. The symptom relating to the thing that was actually true, and that was that apparently it's like a symptom. I want to say like a sign of leukemia, or like it's a type of cancer essentially, is one of the first symptoms, or one of the, like, I guess not first symptoms, but one of the major symptoms is night sweats. And as it turned out, it was just like, oh, I had to like take something. I think it was like I had to take something out of my diet, or like I don't remember what it was. It was so long ago when that happened. I think it might have been like a hormonal thing, actually. That was actually the thing that because I know like that runs in my family is like night sweats. Like I think there's like a good half of I ended up talking to my family about it, and they're like, yeah, no, like we get that too. It's like, well, I guess we all might have leukemia. Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully not. I don't think that that's the case though. That would be kind of extreme, you know? But yeah, I guess like I am a bit of a hypochondriac, if I had to say so myself. I am like, the problem is I'm saying this now about people that say that, but also I'm the same guy who's running immediately to WebMD or the internet to find out what's wrong with me. And I got to stop doing it. It's really unhealthy for me. It's just as unhealthy as my sleep schedule is me running to the internet to be like, what's wrong with me? And then I find out information that only makes me panic even more. And that's the worst thing. That's the worst thing you could do is like find information that like makes it worse. And you're like, oh my God, this is terrible. You know, and you just go down a rabbit hole of being scared, you know? But my other problem is whenever I have those nights where like I can't fall asleep is that like I end up doom scrolling, like, and that doesn't help either. That's another thing. We got to stop doom scrolling. I'm of the opinion of like, we have to end doom scrolling in 2025. We need to we need to cancel doom scrolling in 2025 because I'm guilty of it. I found out like, oh God, sorry guys. I had Subway earlier. It's not sitting well with me. Maybe I'm going to have insomnia because of the Subway. I'm going to be shitting all night. Who knows? But yeah, no, like last night specifically, I was up just all night. And the problem is I go down these rabbit holes of like this content. It's just like feeding my brain constant information. And I love it. The one way that I find that like I can kind of supplement it is if I put something up on my TV, but also my TV is like too loud and also creates a lot of light in my room. It doesn't help. But sometimes I can fall asleep easier, but I find myself just doom scrolling. Last night I found, what was that guy? He's like, the TikTok wilderness guy, like the TikTok survivalist guy. You guys know, I think I talked about him on the podcast before. I think I talked about him last episode or maybe the episode before. And I get to this guy, like I see in I did talk about this before. Okay. Sorry. We're treading territory we've already treaded before. Sorry. But I find this guy and I'm always just like, I get so reeled into his content because I'm just like, how do you live like that? How do you live like that and also make content like that? Like that, like, and apparently like that's not even, I don't think that's even like his job. I think I read somewhere he's like an attorney or like a lawyer, some kind of lawyer or something like that, which is just insane to me. Wow. To be like a lawyer, but also be like a survivalist who like lives out there. Maybe that was total bullshit. I think I read that on Reddit, and maybe I need to stop going on Reddit because Reddit loves to tell you lies, tell you sweet little lies. But like, I don't know. How do you become a survival YouTuber? Maybe I should try that next. Maybe that'll be my next maybe that's going to be where I transition my content towards, because I've been wanting to do that for a while. I've been wanting to go from like what I do now on my YouTube channel to like finding kind of a niche and sticking with it for a little while at least. Because I also think like if you stick to the same thing over and over again, it gets bland. You eventually get bored yourself, not only as a, you know, I mean, you guys as like a viewer, but also as a creator, you get bored. Both people get bored. And the next thing you know, you're like, I guess what's the word for it? Not rabbit holed, pigeonholed. We're talking about a lot of, never mind. I was going to say, we're talking about a lot of holes today. And then, yeah, never mind. But you find yourself in these, like, you know, in making like one type of content. And eventually I think that that's where the whole like wanting to retire, I feel like that's what happens when somebody wants to retire from YouTube, which is a whole other thing I'm going to get into. And how I think it's kind of absurd that people do the whole like retiring, whatever. We'll get into that in a minute. But like, if I were to become a survivalist YouTuber, right? And I make my name as like living out in Alaska and like you know, hearing the wolves howling at night as they hone in on my tent, and I'm in my tent with my camera freaking out, and I have to strip down my clothes because I got too wet, and I have to, you know, all the survivalist stuff, and I'm cooking stuff, you know, eating MREs and stuff like that. I would really make my niche as a survivalist YouTuber of like, maybe even kind of playing it up, like faking it just like a little bit to make it seem like I do really extreme shit. And then when it came time for me to retire, I wouldn't do like a whole like, hey guys, here's my last video thing. I'm talking, if you're gonna go out with the right kind of, go out with a bang, go out with the right kind of bang. Death hoax. Death hoax. Do a death hoax. If you are a survivalist YouTuber and you're watching this right now, fake your death. You are going to be certified as a legend on the internet if you die doing survivalist content. Fake your death. I would totally do the whole like, last upload and then nothing. No information. Although that would probably cause like people to like dox me and like find out, like, because people get curious and they poke and pry for more information, and then it's like becomes a whole thing. But like, I think that that's like the right way to go out. Like if you want to quit YouTube, and because I think that there's just like, I don't know. If I were a survivalist YouTuber, I would make like one last video. Wait, how would you even do that though? Because then the video getting uploaded confirms that somebody found the footage. Maybe it would have to be a stream. Maybe do like a live stream and just have it cut out at one point. And then that's it. That's how you solidify your legacy as a survivalist YouTuber. You become like the biggest name in the game. You know how they say like whenever an artist passes away, their art becomes worth so much more? Does that happen with YouTubers? If a YouTuber dies, their YouTube videos become like better, or like, I don't know, become more of like a, I don't know. Is there an inherent value tied to a YouTube video? I know there's like value tied to YouTube channels because some people like buy channels that are up for monetization so they don't have to go through the whole process of monetizing their own channel, by just making good content, because that's so hard for some people that want to do this. I say that yet I'm not monetized on any of my channels yet. So, well, not yet. Emphasis on the yet. But yeah, I think that like that would be the best way to go out. One last live stream, like, and you really hype it up. Like you really hype it up. You say like camping the most dangerous part of where like the Canadian wilderness or something like that. Because I've heard that's actually really dangerous, is the Canadian wilderness, because there's like out in the there's so much of Canada that's just like uninhabitable. Apparently, it's attached to Alaska, right? I'm trying to think of how the map, right? Alaska and Canada are kind of like attached to each other. Is that how that works? Somebody in the comment section is already calling me a dumbass because I'm wrong, and I already know it, and that's okay. You can make fun of me. I would find like what would be like a really dangerous place to go and camp out for like your last video, where you're like, okay, after this one, I'm going to cut off. I'm going to make it sound like a bear attacked my tent or something happened. And that's it. That's all, folks. And I'm literally going to put Bugs Bunny up on who's it? Is it Bugs Bunny that does it at the end of the Looney Tunes? Or is it Porky Pig? I don't remember. And just, that's all, folks. And then like, it'll be like a little cartoon of me coming out and going, that's all, folks. But that would give away the hoax, or the hoax thing, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of like, what's his name? Rusty Cage, if you guys know who that is. He was a YouTuber who did like a death hoax, but I think everybody was in on it, where he like pretended to guillotine himself. He was doing this like live stream where he was building a guillotine on stream. And was it a guillotine? Or yeah, it had to have been a guillotine, because he faked cutting his head off on stream. And I was like, that is the fucking craziest performance. Honestly, and if anybody tries to come after me for doing this, by the way, I'm not going to do it. We're being facetious, guys. Come on, keep up. We're being facetious. But like, if I were to do, what was I going to say? Fuck, I lost my train of thought having to explain that I'm being facetious. Death hoaxes, they're cool. No, I think that's kind of like, it kind of is a little bit of a giveaway. And also like, I don't know, maybe I don't know. Cause then I always think about it. If I wanted to leave, if I wanted to retire, I feel like if I was like doing the last big thing, my last big shebang before I end I end my content, I feel like it would make me want to continue to make stuff. Cause I would be like, oh, this is really fun again. Well, I might as well get back into it. You know what I mean? And then like, that's the thing. That's where it becomes weird. Maybe the like last YouTube video upload, and then maybe, and then maybe like a Twitter post. Oh, we figured this one out. And I could say like, I'm going to go camp out in like a desert somewhere. Like, some place that's really uninhabited and stuff like that. Something really out there, like hype it up as like a big video that's coming out and then just never make the video. Just fade into obscurity. Just like, oh yeah, disappear, ghost completely. There's got to be a way to do that. I guarantee you that there's been plenty of YouTubers who've done stuff like that. I probably could get into it and look it up, but I don't know what rabbit hole is that one? Is there there's rabbit holes for everything on the internet. There's rabbit holes for lost media. I've been actually really into lost media again recently. I was trying to watch this one lost media video, and it was talking about I don't know. Have I talked about this yet? I don't know. Have I? I got really into Drake and Josh again over back in like December. No, definitely not, because I haven't done the podcast since like February. I got really into watching like old Drake and Josh, and I was like super excited to see that like there was a YouTube video. It was like Nickelodeon Lost Media, and they were in like Drake and Josh were in like the thumbnail. Sorry, Subway's coming back for revenge. Oh geez. They were in the thumbnail. I was like, oh my God, Drake and Josh Lost Media? I can't wait. And it was like, oh, the only lost media of the show is like fucking like the widescreen version of it or something like that. I was really pissed off. I was really looking forward to my Drake and Josh Lost Media. But no Lost Media for me. No Lost Media based off of one of my favorite shows from my childhood. Ho hum. There's a lot of like SpongeBob Lost Media though. And that's a show I actually recently, in order to try to combat my insomnia, I tried to watch SpongeBob. I was like, maybe like an old show from when I was a kid. And this kind of ties back to my conversation in other episodes about like how nostalgia is kind of killing us a little bit, but I've been falling back into it. And usually I think that you falling back into nostalgia is a sign that things are kind of stagnant in your life. And that is the truth for me. That is absolutely the truth for me. And this is my valiant effort to try to get out of that mentality, but by doing stuff like this, not by watching SpongeBob. And also SpongeBob, not a great show to fall asleep to. SpongeBob is a very loud boy, you know, man. How old is Gotta look this up now. How old is SpongeBob? And like canonically, how old is he? Like obviously the show's been around, I think, since 1999. So the show would still be the same age as me. Is SpongeBob, like canonically, how old is he supposed to be? How old is SpongeBob? Likely in his mid-20s. SpongeBob's birthday is July 14th, 1986, which was revealed in an episode. However, this would make him 13 when the series began. Okay. Child labor? Yeah, Mr. Krabs would be doing some child labor and shit. Mr. Krabs probably really advocates for child labor. I don't know, it's weird. I guess SpongeBob's a bit of one of those characters that like, I feel like if I watch like the newer episodes of SpongeBob, not that I do, I feel like he's interpreted much more as like a kid than with the earlier seasons. He feels a little more like maybe like mid-20s. That's a little more believable for him. But yeah. We got to take a quick little break because Puppy needs to go out right now, and then also got to go cook the doggy dinner. So we'll cut. This is my death hoax. I'm dying right now. There's a bear outside the door, and I will not be back. This is how I'm not retiring from YouTube. I'm dying. I'm getting attacked by a bear deliberately. For once, the mid-episode interruption was my own doing. Look at that. Isn't that great? Yeah. I mean, I can't blame the dogs this time around. And technically speaking, that was on me and my poor time management skills, everybody. I was mismanaging my time. I didn't realize, because we're filming this episode actually a little bit later than I usually do in the day whenever I film these. So, yeah. Sorry. I'm out of breath, though. Why am I out of breath? There's like a bug on my floor. That's disgusting. What were we talking about? I don't know. I was thinking more about like the whole, like while I was making the doggies dinner, I was not cooking anything for them. I was just, scooping the food and whatnot. I was thinking a lot about like YouTuber retirement and how like, I don't know. I think like at this point it's become the most clickbaitable thing is to like say that you're retiring from YouTube and then to just like continue making videos. What does it even mean to fucking retire from YouTube at this point? Like, as far as I'm aware, the only person who's like retired from YouTube is MatPat. Like, he was like, yeah, okay, I'm handing the channel off to somebody else. See ya. Everybody else, it's like, oh, I'm retiring. And then they just keep going. They keep streaming, or they keep doing, like, I guess at that point you're doing it on your own terms. It's not so much for the algorithm. It's not so much to, like, you know, it's not so, it's like you've already hit the top. You know what I mean? You've managed to hit the point that you want to hit, you know, like fucking PewDiePie, or I don't know who else has done the same thing where it's like, okay, oh, Germa's a good example of it, of like still streams whenever he wants to. It's not like his job anymore. But I can't imagine. I feel like retiring as a YouTuber or a content creator, streamer, whatever, has to get so boring. Like, what do you do now? What is your life now? What do you do? Do you like, I guess you pick up other hobbies, but you know, but like, I don't know, if I were to retire, let's say I hit the top, right? I reach my goals as a content creator. I'm exactly where I want to be. Where do I, you know, how do I leave? Do I make a big statement out of it? Do I say like, oh yeah, like, guys, here's my last big stream and here's my last big video, and then I disappear forever? Or do I just like, do I fade into obscurity? Kind of like if I were to do a death hoax as a survivalist YouTuber, you know what I mean? Cause I think it was Joji said that, like, with his music career, when he was done, he was like ready to go. It's like, I feel like it was Joji who said it. He was like, yeah, I'm just going to stop doing it. Like, no big send off, no nothing. That'll be it. I'll be done with it. And I think that that's like kind of, maybe that's the better, I don't know. What's the better way to go out? Is it better to you know, go out with a bang, or just kind of fade into, I guess, I don't know. I want to say fade into obscurity. Cause like you could be at the height of your fame and then just, oh, not going to do it anymore. Done. No more. I don't know. Because the thing is, I was saying it earlier. I feel like if I were to do my last stream, right? Like, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to retire from streaming. I'm done doing it. Here's my last big stream. And then, like, I were to do, like, a big, like, set up this whole event. Let's say we have multiple people involved, too. It's like a whole thing. It's everything that I loved about streaming combined into one big final send-off. Because I feel like that's the only way that I would want to go out if I were going to do a last stream. It wouldn't be like, yeah, we'll just play some Roblox games and then you know, call it quits. No, I'm not going to do that. I want to do something big. You know what I mean? Something, you know, something on a grander scale. And I feel like maybe I feel like the thing is I would start doing it. Like, I would end the stream and it would be like, wow, honestly, that was kind of fun. Maybe I'll start doing it again. Guys, I was just kidding. I'm not actually retiring. I know you guys donated a bunch of money to support this thing, and I pocketed most of it for myself and invested a lot of it into crypto that went into a shit coin, and it's gone. But yeah, I'm going to keep streaming, actually, guys. It was gotcha. That's my prank. That's my final prank, is that, like, that would be a good way. It's just scam your audience, guys. The best way to retire from streaming is to scam your audience. In fact, launch a shitcoin. Tell you what, here's a plan. Here's a plan for you guys. Launch a shitcoin, okay? And just take the money and run. That's a good way. You'll end on great terms with everybody in the streaming world if you just, you know, take their money and leave. Just be like, all right, thank you, shabai. And then that's you running away with the money, like a big money sack hanging off your back, and you're just like running away with it. You know, that'll work. That's a good idea. But no, I don't know what the fuck I would do if I were to like retire from any of this. I'm not even at that point where I can even think about it yet. Or maybe the fact that I'm talking about it means I want to do it. Maybe I do want to leave. Maybe it's time for me to go. Maybe this is the last one. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't know anything. That's all I ever say on this show, is that I don't know anything. And that's honestly true. I don't know many things. And that's kind of a good thing. It's good to be a curious cat. It's good to want to know things. It's good to not know things, but to want to know things, then to not know things and not want to know things. It's good to have a gun and need it, then not have a gun and not need it, baby. That's what they always say. Well, there's no reason in ending the episode now. I suppose we can talk a little bit about Oscar, aka the Oscars, the award ceremony. I didn't watch it. In fact, I didn't even know it was going on. I only found out because Conan O'Brien was hosting. I was like, oh wow, I wish I kind of watched it then. He's pretty funny. Well, then I went down this rabbit hole of like, well, what got nominated, what didn't. I actually don't even know what got nominated. I didn't do much research here before talking about this on the episode, so oops. But it reminded me of a certain movie that came out last year, 2024. It was none other than Megalopolis. And I haven't seen it. And quite frankly, I will admit, my interest in seeing the movie is starting to peak just a little bit because I don't think it got nominated for anything. Let me actually double check. Was Megalopolis nominated for anything? I want to know. Let me look this up. Because in researching this movie, which if you don't know, it's Francis Ford Coppola from like The Godfather, Apocalypse Now. Maybe you've heard of him. Maybe you haven't. I don't know. Actually, there's probably some people out here who have not. Was Megalodon real? Not what I'm looking for. Was Megalopolis nominated for anything? I want to know. Oh, nominated for 6 categories at the 45th Golden Raspberry Awards, which if you don't know, the Raspberry Awards are kind of like a joke award show. And it was nominated, for the, what was it? It was nominated for Worst Picture, Worst Director, and Worst Screen Combo, for the entire cast of the movie, which is very telling. I want to see this because Francis Ford Coppola, famous director, although he's had his flops, and like later in his career, he eventually had his flops of like, I think it was it the Dracula movie that he did? The Dracula adaptation, I think, was a flop. A few other things too. Apparently he was thrilled to accept the Megalopolis Raspberry Awards. That is very funny. Now, the main reason I don't think this movie was nominated for like any, and I mean any, I don't think it was nominated for any of the Oscars. I should have looked into this more before starting the video, but whatever. I've been nothing but curious to watch the movie now because I found out that apparently he couldn't get any funding for this movie whatsoever. As in he had to fund the entire movie himself through a wine business, or a winery. Was it a winery or a vineyard or something that he made wine to fund the movie, which had a budget of 120 million, is estimated between 120 million to 136 million, and made an entire box office total of 14.3 million. That is more than $100 million lost on this movie. On a movie, mind you, by Francis Ford Coppola, The Godfather, other successes and whatnot, and some failures, but was also with a cast of Adam Driver, Giancarlo Esposito. I don't know any of these other people, honestly. Oh, Lawrence Fish. Okay, actually I do. I lied. Lawrence Fishburne. Shia LaBeouf was in this shit. Oh, we got to watch this movie. Dustin Hoffman. It had a pretty stacked cast of people. And I am now more curious than ever to like watch this movie and just see what kind of a mess it was. And apparently, according to the Wikipedia, I've been reading up about this movie because I remember coming out last year. What was it? Almost a year ago. May of last year. It's already March. Or wait. Oh no, it premiered at a film festival in May of last year. And then it was September 20, that sounds a little more right. September 27th of last year is when Megalopolis came out. And he began plotting the film in 1983, and the project spent decades in development hell. Wow. Coppola attempted to produce the film in 1989 and 2001, but each time the studios refused to finance the film due to Coppola's string of late career box office disappointments. That's what I've been talking about. And the September 11th attacks. Now, I went a little more in depth into what this was about, and it's apparently because the whole movie's about like New York City, or like I guess a modern, or not modern New York City, kind of like a parallel of Rome, The movie's really fucking confusing in its plot, and I've heard that one of the worst things about it is the way that the characters act on screen. That all of their movements are very awkward. Nothing about this movie makes any sense, and it was supposed to transcend like a boundary of like how we as viewers, view movies and stuff like that, and it just kind of it didn't manage to do that at all. And it was just instead a confusing mess. But what do you expect from, how old is he? He's like got to be 80, Francis Ford Coppola, 80, right? How old is he? I want to find out. What do you expect from a mind like that? You know what I mean? 85. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't expect an 85-year-old to put together a competent movie. I don't know what they expected was going to happen, but yeah, there we go. That's Megalopolis for you. Maybe tell you what, guys, we're going to finance our own movie, Megalopolis 2. And I'm never going to see the first movie. We're not going to see it at all. I'm going to read the brief synopsis on Wikipedia after this recording, and I'm going to write the script for Megalopolis 2, and we will do that. We'll do it live on stream or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll figure something out. I would love to see him attempt to make a sequel that like tries to justify this movie and be like, actually, it was creative genius. And like, I guarantee you there's like a film bro out there that's like, or there's, excuse me. There's got to be like one of those film reviewer YouTubers or like video essay YouTubers that's just like, the secret genius behind Megalopolis that you didn't understand. And then as you like go into it, you realize it's just like, yeah, he's just sucking Francis Ford Coppola's dick, He's just trying to give him any win that he can, so that he can make Megalopolis 2. The film reviewer can make Megalopolis 2. Oh, did our good friend Doug Walker do a Megalopolis review? I actually want to find out. Should we, let's do that as our last little shebang here on the podcast. I'm going to look up Nostalgia Critic. What came up first is nostalgic Christmas commercials for deep sleep, which, like I said, the thing about nostalgia being kind of poisonous and whatnot and not good for you. Nostalgia Critic, Megalopolis. Did he watch the movie? Did he review it? No. We have Critical doing, I believe, a review of it. This is the most embarrassing movie of the year, according to him. I have got to see this movie so bad. I have got to get my hands on this movie. Where can I watch it? I'll watch it tonight. I'll watch it tonight after I stream. I'll watch Megalopolis. I'll do it. I'll hurt myself watching Megalopolis mentally. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to become the Film Bro YouTube reviewer guy, and I'm going to like be all like, "Oh, actually this is actually secret genius and you guys don't understand it because I'm better than all of you." Is there like a where to watch? Is this on? Did they not even bother putting it on streaming services? Was he just like, "You know what? Fuck this movie." Where to watch? It's not in theaters, that's for sure. Oh, I can rent it. Great. Thank you. Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola. I get it, buddy. You got to make your money back, huh? Yeah, you got to make your Megalopolis money back. I'm making a Megalopolis amount of money, baby. I'm making That's actually kind of fun. Fuck off. Shut up. Oh my god, my dogs are so annoying. I was going to make such a good bit about making a Megalopolis amount of money. And in actuality, it's a way of saying you have no money. And then once again, because it's this podcast, we had to be rudely interrupted by my dogs because there's a fox in the backyard. And apparently, according to my dogs, barking at a fox in the backyard is more important than my Megalopolis joke. You know what? To my dogs, to both of them, I'd like to see them direct Megalopolis and have it be good. Yeah, that's right. I'd like to see them direct Megalopolis and have it be the masterpiece that it is. Okay? I'm definitely going to try to find a place to watch that tonight, though. That's going to be my plan. I mean, you lose $110 million. Wait, how much would that be, actually? Let me check this out. I'm going to say that next time I gamble all my money away, I'm going to be like, guys, I made a megalopolis amount of money, because it sounds like you've made a lot. Now I'm explaining the joke. Now I'm explaining it because mega, it's in it. Maybe the joke, maybe the dogs were right. Maybe the dogs barked for a good reason. They're like, do not make this joke. They're like, halt, the joke's stupid. Don't make that joke. It's not funny. Not funny, didn't laugh. Nobody's gonna laugh at your jokes, buddy. They're like, we need to assassinate this podcast. You know what I mean? We need this podcast to have a survival YouTuber death hoax. Okay? That's what we need to do. Maybe that'll be the title of the episode. Or maybe not. Maybe that's actually a really bad, maybe that's a worse clickbaity title than me retiring. Right now, we're going to come up with what the title for the videos, for the episode's going to be called. I guess we should start kind of winding down the episode, though. I mean, these have been getting longer and longer, but I think this sweet spot is like 45 minutes to like an hour and a half is the max that I ever want to go with filming an episode of this. So yeah. I guess to kind of wind down the episode here, we're still working on some stuff. I'm trying to get to a point where I feel like I get into a good groove of like making episodes of the podcast, streaming, making YouTube videos, also while working for other people and stuff like that and doing other stuff for other people. And also living my life off of the internet. Cause that's also very important. Living your life off of the internet as an internet personality, having a life away from the internet is actually really smart. It's actually a really good thing to do. It's healthy. You should do it. If you are also an internet creator, have a life outside of the internet. It's good. And I need to get back in touch with that side of myself, is getting back out there and doing other things. Cause it's been a bit stagnant here, guys. Been a bit stagnant. Been doing nothing. Been doing a whole lot of nothing. It's been a lot of the same shit, different week, baby. Same shit, different week. In fact, it literally has been same shit, different week. I almost follow like a weekly schedule at this point, of like, this is what I do this day, so on and so on, whatever. Okay, you guys don't care about my life. You don't care about my life. You don't care about me. But, yeah, I guess to wind down the episode here, this has been My Tiny Little House, episode 5. We covered some good ground. Maybe you want to have a death hoax of your own right now. Or soon. Maybe you want to start a survivalist YouTube channel and get away. That's a good way to have a life outside of the internet while being an internet creator. Maybe they have it figured out. Maybe they have it all figured out. Become a survivalist YouTuber. Go camping in the wilderness somewhere. Go in your backyard and start camping. Buy a tent from Walmart. Get the cheapest shit you can find. That would be an interesting challenge. Camping in like extreme wilderness in the cheapest gear I can find. That's an idea there. You know what? Maybe I should cut this part out of the video, because then you guys are going to steal that from me. And then I'm going to be like, wait. I don't have any video ideas, because everything gets stolen from me. Everything gets stolen from me. Well, either way, guys, I'll see you guys again next week. I'm going to try to launch the Patreon. I'm thinking in April, we're going to finally have the Patreon out. Maybe late March. I don't know yet. We're seeing things out. But I want to give you guys more content. And if you want more content and it helps support me to do bigger things, that's what I want to start doing this year, is work on bigger projects. And I could use a little bit of support from you guys. And it's been great so far, but if you really like this podcast and you want to see more of it, I will have a Patreon available. You can, at some point, so you guys can support. So I'm talking it into existence now, just so you guys know of its existence, and we can, we can get the balls rolling, roll your balls down on over here and come hang out with me. All right. Bye guys. See you next week.